President Trump will bring back high inflation. He will boost the US economy and prevent the next recession. He will cut taxes, hike government spending, and make the public debt even greater. And he will do his best to make America the leader in science and technology again. I am an economist. I am a boring mainstream economist. And in this channel, I stay away from politics and focus on economics. And in this video, I don't argue against Trump. I don't praise Trump. In this video, we are going to look at the US economic problems and Trump policies and discuss if these policies can fix these problems. This is the list of the US economic problems: high inflation, the danger of a recession, the astronomical public debt, trade deficit, gasoline prices, and the leadership in science and technology. So let's discuss these problems and Trump policies. No, look at Donald Trump policies 8 years ago and his promises now. High tariffs, low taxes, deregulation, a trade war with China, and more government spending. All inflationary policies. And on top of that, he wants the US Federal Reserve to cut the policy rate. The Fed's policy rate is not the president's job. A US president is not supposed to advise the central bank. But don't tell Trump what he can't do. So, a loose monetary policy and an expansionary fiscal policy will mean high inflation. Even if Donald Trump keeps 10% of his promises, even that will be enough to bring back Biden's high inflation. And the answer is a resounding yes. Right now, the US economy is balancing on the verge of a recession. It already entered a technical recession in 2022, and it's very possible that the US economy is in a recession right now. It's just that the Biden administration couldn't afford the truth during the election year. So they told us the heartwarming lies that the US economy is still strong. So it's possible that the US economy is already in a recession. But even if it's not, it's still on the brink of the next one. So will Donald Trump policies prevent the next recession? Donald Trump's plan is to cut taxes and raise spending. So it's the same thing that Bush did in 2001 and in 2003 and what Obama did in 2012. So Trump is going to do what almost every other president did. He's a fan of the Keynesian-style stimulus. President Biden was also a big spender. He was trying to spend as much as possible, throwing money at everything. But a lot of his spending were leaving the United States, going to other countries. Because the Biden administration cared more about foreigners than Americans. They were so kind. They were stimulating other economies rather than the American economy. And Donald Trump will be different. Donald Trump will probably keep more money inside the United States. So the stimulating effect of government spending will be greater. That's for fiscal policy. And for monetary policy, he wants the Federal Reserve to cut the policy rate. He wants a loose monetary policy. He already forced Jerome Powell to cut the policy rate in 2019, when there was no good reason for doing it. And this year, again, he's quite clear that the US Federal Reserve must cut the policy rate and print dollars. There you have it, the expansionary fiscal policy and the loose monetary policy give you a Keynesian-style stimulus. And this stimulus will imply no recession. That will be the first time in history when the cycle of policy rate hikes does not bring a recession. So far, until 2024, every time a central bank cut the money supply, every time the central bank raises the policy rate, a recession followed. But this time it's different. The recession in the US should have happened, but it didn't. In this video I explain why a recession hasn't happened in the US. Simply put, the US took its inevitable recession and dumped it on Europe. Europe is suffering because America is prospering. America saved itself at the expense of Europe. And the answer is a resounding no. Most economists don't think that a trade deficit is bad. For example, the US has a trade deficit, Germany has a trade surplus. Neither is good or bad. But let's agree with the president. Let's agree that a trade deficit is bad. And look at Donald Trump's first term. In his first term, Donald Trump promised to reduce the trade deficit. He worked hard to boost exports and to cut imports, and he failed. During the first term of Donald Trump, the trade deficit got even bigger. The US exports were stagnating, but imports were growing, so the trade deficit got even worse. Joe Biden made the trade deficit even worse. Under Biden, the trade balance of the United States plunged. But this video is not about Joe Biden. This video is about Donald Trump. And Donald Trump failed to reduce the trade deficit. If Trump failed to reduce the trade deficit in his first term, will he suddenly succeed in his second term? Fat chance. No, no way. When the government spends more and more while it collects less and less in taxes, the budget deficit explodes, the public debt explodes. And the American public debt is already sky high. It goes up by 1 trillion every 100 days. And Trump policies will make it even worse. In this video, I explain that the US will not pay down its debt. I predict that one day the US will be generous enough to forgive itself its own debt. It will just cancel its debt. No debt, no problem. It will ruin the world, and it will ruin the American economy as well. But who cares? Cancel the debt, damn the consequences. For details, watch my video. No. Last time I checked, Donald Trump didn't own oil companies. The US government didn't own oil companies. And even if the whole nation decides to
drill, baby, drill. We're going to start that day one.
It will not change a thing. It won't change a thing because the US produces 13 million barrels per day, but it consumes 20. So the US is dependent on oil from other countries. The US can't dictate world oil prices because it doesn't supply oil on the world markets. Can you guess which country is a leader in technology today? I'll give you a hint. It's not the United States. Of course, it's China. China is a science and technology superpower. China is leading in electric cars, hypersonic missiles, 5G and 6G communication. China is not just a leader, it's a monopolist in nanomaterials and synthetic biology. As you watch this video, I can just feel how haters start typing, "This is all Chinese propaganda." As the haters are typing, let me tell you, friends, I got this information from American think tanks. So when American institutes praise China's leadership in science, you've got to trust them. It's not propaganda, it's the truth. Technology is a race, and right now the US is losing and China is winning this race for a better technology. This is something that you will not see on the official media. This is not something you will see on CNN, but the US has lost its leadership in science and technology. And Trump is one of the very few people who understand that. And he wants to change the situation. Donald Trump has already appointed the AI and crypto czar. He created the crypto council. He's bringing people from big tech into his administration. And of course, there is Elon Musk. And Trump makes it clear that his priority will be AI, cryptocurrencies, and science. Now, I am not saying that Donald Trump will definitely succeed in his efforts. His success is far from guaranteed, because first, it will take years of hard work, and second, there is still the Democratic Party. And the Democrats still have the power, the money, and the media, and they will do everything to derail the Trump agenda. And third, if the next president is a Democrat, he or she will happily cancel everything Trump will have achieved. So we'll see if Trump will succeed at winning the race for better technology. So these are my predictions. President Trump will bring back high inflation. He will stop the next recession. He will make the public debt crisis even worse, and he will try to make America a leader in science and technology. What do you think? Will Donald Trump fix the economic problems of the US or make them even worse? Put your comment below. I am so happy to see your feedback. I wish you happiness for the next 4 years of Donald Trump, and I'll talk to you next time.